All right, so I brought this panel together to talk about Hive as a blockchain gaming platform. Because I've been noticing, I started getting into it more because of Dan and Hash Kings. And I wanted to participate and support a friend's pre-sale in the blockchain gaming industry and get some land. And then to do that, I had to start looking into Hive and learning about it and how it came to be and how it works. And we picked up some Hive, and it's been doing very well in the recent bull run, I mean, comparatively. And I wanted to show off some stats. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So yeah, we've been playing with the markets a bit, looking at how Hive is doing. And I've also been looking at Steem a lot, because if we and when we did our research into the history of Steem, we've done our first wiki article, and I've been getting lots of facts on stuff like there used to be a lot of drama in their community, to say the least. A lot of concerns regarding Justin Sun's acquisition, his intentions, and how he was wielding some of the power he acquired with his tokens and collaborations with exchanges. And as a result, they split off. There's Steem continued on its way, and a lot of people disgruntled with the trajectory of Steem under Justin Sun started going in their own direction with Hive. But what I noticed was that they pretty much took all the user base with them. Um, and I documented some of this, like well, you can see it on DApp radar, for instance. You can see the user numbers. Hold on, sorry. No, on Hive, the lead one is now Splinterlands, 7.16K. Peak T is at 2 point, and this is like the new, sorry, Steam It was originally a lot to do, not just with gaming specifically, but social media. It was kind of like a Reddit competitor. So they still do that, and the new variant here is Peak D on on Steam. Steam it's still going with about 5.03K. So you can see basically we can see the users are less and the number of apps are less. You can see there's like 4 pages of apps here, but it's kind of misleading. And I noticed this as well when I was going through uh, all of the apps on both platforms. I noticed that some of the ones that are claimed as dapps operating on Steam are really just old profiles, like people who, back before they forked off in their separate directions, they were having their applications on Steam. But not everyone updated their profile since then and such, or left old profiles unattended. So it still claims them basically as users of their platform. And maybe some investors don't realize that, but so a lot of what you're seeing here on Steam's DApp Radar page is not really accurate, probably just due to being out of date and laziness, which is just, that happens in these types of user reported or very, well, I don't know who reports DApp Radar actually, if it's user reported. I think you guys
Yeah, I
said
think
you
it's
make
user
profiles,
reported.
right? So
Yeah.
it's probably people just neglecting to update them. But the reality, and I'm trying to find the research article I did. So I cited some sources on Wiki, like documenting some of the drama, for example. Some people just do not like him. I'm not going to mince words about that. Like and I can see why, to a degree, and I have to give a kind of frank assessment of the value of Hive versus Steem, because some of the articles made it very clear to me that in general, Hive's user base now dwarfs Steem's. I should have had prepared one of the links with stats on that, but I think it's common knowledge anyway, honestly, that the user base is just much vastly greater on Hive. And yet, if we go to coin market cap, we see market cap 194 million for Hive, 307 million for Steem. So we're in this situation where all the users are on one platform and all the investors are on the other platform. And it's very interesting to me, but in my view, unsustainable, because it's not adhering to, and bull runs in crypto world don't always adhere to market fundamentals. That's an unfortunate reality of life, that sometimes investment doesn't go to what's used the most. But at the end of the day, in blockchain land, the value of a token is driven by its use with these things, when you need it to pay fees or to have access to what's happening on these platforms. And so there have to be reasons why this is happening. And some of the best reasons I can give are to look at the markets. I think Steem just has better access to markets and exchanges. I mean, yeah, okay, they're both on Binance. But in general, I guess I'm being speculative with this next statement. I think if he had the power to convince, if he being Justin Sun had the power to convince exchanges to use their token supplies to vote in a certain way, I think he probably also has friends who have a lot of power over what tokens have volume and what tokens get listed a lot. And so one possible explanation for the relative lesser value of Hive, given the fundamentals we've seen, is just that it's lacking institutional access, or just people aware of the situation. So, no, I've been hoping, that's why I did the wiki article. And after this, I hope to make a page about each individual panelist's games and put those on the wiki as well and link to them from here. And hopefully more people will be aware, because there's some cool games on Hive. And yeah, we'll show off some of them. The first one I was really aware of, or the first one I've been playing with, really. I've been aware of some of them for a while, but didn't buy into any pre-sales until Hash Kings, just because I've known the guy for a while. And it wasn't a huge amount from our blockchain gaming investment fund, relatively speaking. So we have a little fund where we're investing in blockchain gaming projects. But as it grows, we want to buy more land and NFTs in games like you guys' games. Just it's difficult. You have to keep, if you're an investor in this space, if you want to stay liquid, which we have to, right? Because what if people want their money back? We have to keep a minority of our funding in NFT-like assets, because they're not liquid enough. And what if we can't be a fractional reserve incapable of paying people back in a situation where if we have investors and such? But our fund's been growing. And with that, I've been getting more and more land in our portfolio. So we might get some more in you guys' games as well. I want to learn more about what you all are doing. So first we have some of our panelists aren't here yet. I guess since I mentioned Hash Kings, if Dan doesn't mind, I'm going to make him go first.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for the intro.
So hold on. Let's see. Ed, can you take my screen away? Give it to him.
Actually, he should be able to share his screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. I'll share this game window. So you should be able to see the front end here.
I do.
But yeah, so I'm Dan. Yeah, like Andrew was mentioning, we started out on the Steem blockchain back in the day, I think about 2.5 years ago or so. And yeah, we also still just have like an old profile on the DApp Radar Steem side of things. But we don't exist on there. We're only on Hive, and I think we've grown quite a bit since we relaunched in October. So I guess I can kind of start there. In October, well, I'll go back to March and April. So March and April, the whole debacle was happening. Theme, Hive, craziness, and I actually spun up an instance of Hash Kings on Hive, and I had it on Steem, and that was going okay, but everything was so rocky that I actually just decided to stop for a minute until kind of the dust settled. So I took down the game on Steem and I took it down on Hive, and just kind of waited out the summer. And then in October, I launched the game again on Hive, strictly on Hive. It was the same mechanics. You could, earn through delegation. Basically, we had a trail, and for those who don't know, there's like delegation trails on Hive, the blog side of things. So if you have, if you're writing a blog and you're delegating to Hash Kings, then we upvote you, that kind of a thing. And then I think it was early December, the Hive Fest happened on what was it, the VR, the hell was it called? Forget. I haven't used it in a while. But do you remember the VR thing? What was it called? That we use on Oculus? It doesn't matter. Anyways, so on Oculus Rift and the other platforms, they had this Hive meetup, and I joined and I spoke on there, and it was pretty cool because, I mean, first of all, I got the word out. Hey, we're still on Hive. We're here. We love it. This is our home. But the best thing about it is that I got to meet the guys from Freedom Academy, and they wanted to partner up. So I met Luke. Lewis is his real name. I call him Luke. But yeah, he approached me and said, "Hey, Dan, I don't like have money to invest, but I've got a team. I can do I can help with like development and marketing, and we can kind of maybe redesign the game." So I said, all right, I really had nothing to lose, and the game had to keep moving forward.
Are you talking about Altspace VR? Sorry,
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Thank you.
You
Yeah,
can
and
see in the
Altspace
chat,
VR, that's
questions
where the
might
Hive.
come
Yeah,
in the chat.
Yeah, thank you for that. My mind went totally blank there. I should probably go on there again and say hey. But anyways, yeah, so then, through the Altspace thing, I met Luke, and he wanted to help out and partner up and take the game to the next level. So kind of what you're looking at here on screen, this is the next level. We've got multiple non-fungible tokens, we've got fungible tokens, and it's really just evolved into an entire player-based economy where through your actions, you're harvesting buds, you're watering your plants. Each of those are fungible tokens. You acquire land, which are non-fungible tokens. The seeds are non-fungible, and it's just kind of this perpetual circle. So I can give you this thing that I've been doing as of late. So in order to, everybody starts off with a level 1 water tower, and basically that is like this bucket here, and it provides
What a
30
great water
per
tower.
day. Yeah. Right. It's not quite a water tower yet, but that's the general term. And in order to upgrade those, you have to actually have enough XP. So I've been working on getting more XP, and the way that you do that is you have to smoke joints. So I'll go through and show you guys how to smoke joints really quick. First, you need to roll one. So you have to go to crafting and craft yourself a pinner. You probably can't see my wallet. Let me move all these notifications out of the way.
I just gotta say, a pinner is a hilarious name for an NFT.
It's like
token.
it's like the smallest joint you can possibly
Yeah.
roll. Yeah. And I love how that's all like raggedy looking too. Like it just, like just a little bit of dust in there and you're like, okay, nice, got myself a pinner, Once you roll, Shaggy will do his thing, and the game will reload, and then if all went well, you should have a pinner in your inventory there. So to roll it, you just click on that bad boy and click smoke. Let me move all these notifications out of the way again. Click confirm in your wallet.
Show
Shaggy
us
goes
what
back out.
happens in the keychain app. I neglected to show that off, really.
Yeah, it's just all that's happening. You're just signing a transaction. You're not, you're just saying, yep, allow this to happen. That's all you're doing. And the back, so kind of the mechanics of the back end is what you're actually doing is you're sending that NFT to like a burner wallet that we have that we call the vault. And it just stays in there forever. At some point, maybe we may transfer them to null. We'll see.
So you literally burn the joint.
You literally burn the joint, right? After a little bit of time, this number up here will increase by 15 XP, and you can go and burn some more joints if you want. So yeah, that's the thing that everybody's kind of working on right now because we just enabled that feature. And I just want to let everybody know that this is our alpha stage. The first couple of weeks were really rocky. We were testing with 500 people as opposed to the 3 people in the very beginning. So we were able, and it was great. We were able to find a ton of bugs and fix a bunch of stuff. And yeah, it's been great. So hopefully, so currently we're implementing a new way to kind of the way that everything kind of works. We got this new forwarding system, a queue. Since we can only like submit so many transactions per block, we have to like create this queue, and it was working okay, but just not 100%. So we've got a new system that we'll be implementing this week. We're just testing it now. And then we'll be working on the UI and user experience again. So this will pretty much stay the same. There'll be some enhancements. There'll be some leaderboards and some stats added to it. We're going to be adding bulk actions. I mean, that'll be something that you will enjoy, Andrew, and that way you don't have to sit there and click 1,000 times.
Yeah, I own like half of Jamaica.
Right, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that'll be really useful to you and some of the other whales that we have. But yeah, that'll just make the gameplay a lot smoother, and then we'll move on to beta. We've got a couple of upgrades there that we're planning on doing, and hopefully sometime in August we'll be able to go pretty much full version, and then just continue to do security updates and just add functions here and there as they come in. So we ask folks, the community, what do you like, what do you want, and if they come up with cool ideas, which they have, we try to implement those. But yeah, so we're moving right along, man. Really excited.
And so got some questions, and
Yeah,
one, let's talk more, and especially you were talking about the bulk thing where you're doing things in bulk to save time. Does that also, from a blockchain perspective, does that all be one transaction? Does that save in fees? And in general, I think Ed was asking what fees and the cost is of using Hive. Like what's the consensus system like?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, yeah, it'll be multiple actions in one transaction. The really cool thing, and one of the things that actually drove me to Hive or / Steem at the time, is the fact that there really technically are no gas fees. You actually don't spend any of your own Hive to perform actions in game. What they do use is what's called resource credits. excuse me, and resource credits, um, basically you use in lieu, and somebody else, I mean, Aggie can probably explain this better than me, but basically you use them in lieu of gas. So every 24 hours, it gets reloaded as you're performing actions, you're writing blogs, you're upvoting, you're playing games. Those resource credits decrease, but they perpetually 24 hours, they refill. So basically you can, if you've got like 10 Hive powered up, aka staked, then you can, you have X amount of RC, which allows you to do X amount of things. If you power up more than that, you can do more things. I think with like 150 to 200 Hive staked slash powered up, you can do stuff all day long. I haven't run into RC problems in a really long time. So if you have like 5, maybe you're not going to be able to sit here and craft 1,000 joints. But if you've got plenty more, then you can.
That's good. Another question. Back to token economics, because I personally am kind of fascinated by token economic systems, and yours is kind of complex. So you've got multiple fungible and non-fungible tokens. I think you at one point you had a graph somewhere or a chart, or like what did they all interconnect, right? And this
Yeah,
this will allow your game to be play to earn. Is that correct?
that's correct. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what folks do too. So there's an initial cost. You got to get yourself some land, and you got to get yourself some seeds and water.
Or I could rent you some and take a fraction of your profits.
You can exactly. Yep. Um, where the rentals will be happening next month, but yeah, that's something that everybody's really excited about. So I mean, just real quick. So yeah, so the land is scarce. So we have scarcity built into it. Each region, as you can see here, we've got Asia, Africa, Afghanistan, Jamaica, Mexico, and South America. Each one of those is tiered. So there's actually only 40 plots of Asia available. That was before subdivisions. Now there's 80. I think we only doubled those up, but there's thousands of South America. I won't go into all the dynamics of it. I could sit here and talk about it for a long time, but basically the rentals will be, based on that. So since you can't purchase lots of land from us anymore, the only way that new players can get involved is either buying it from the land barons that we have or rent the plots monthly, bi-weekly. The terms will be determined by the renters themselves. But yeah, so we've got, let's see, we've got for our non-fungible tokens, we have land, so land plots, we've got seeds, we've got water towers, and we've just added the avatars too. So the land is what's used to plant seeds. Seeds and land together produce our fungible token buds. Buds can be deposited to earn the daily minting of our in-game currency called Mota. Mota is staked to earn seeds, and then you kind of have that perpetual cycle there. The water
So it's
towers,
like it sounds like a circle kind of.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a fluid economy that's all, interconnected, absolutely. And that's how we want it too. Like we're really planning to decentralize this as much as possible. Eventually I'd love to have just all of the game mechanics completely hosted in a smart contract on Hive Engine. And then we don't really have to do much except, have a couple of servers running that just, like this front end. But the rest, the in-game actions, those will be perpetually on the Hive blockchain. And we don't really have to do, we won't really be involved in that point anymore. It's all about the community for me. This is meant for the community. It's, being built by us, but it's built for them. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm super excited for some of those updates. But now I guess I want to hear from I think Aggie next. Is that how you're pronouncing his name? Aggie?
Aggie next. That's
Because
fine.
we both mentioned him. So yeah, we'll give him the, what do you call it, the stage.
All right, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All righty, so this is a Splinterlands. Splinterlands is a trading card game, and it's built on the Hive blockchain. We like Hive because it is a 3-second block time, and that allows us to basically do things at the speed of the internet. You know, if you go load up CNN, it'll take you 3 to 5 seconds, which in my terms is basically 1 or 2 blocks. And so our game operates at roughly the same speed as the internet, which makes for a pretty good gaming experience. So in the game, you purchase assets, and then you can buy, sell, trade those assets, rent the assets, or you can use them to fight and actually earn you money. So the game typically starts by you buy packs. So as it turns out, we sold out of our alpha packs, we sold out of our beta packs, we're in the untamed packs. We started with 1.5 million of them, and we're down to 261,000. So this is something like 17% or so remaining. They're currently going for like, 4,000 packs per day. So within the next 40 to 60 days, this edition, I'm expecting to be totally sold out. And
Nice.
then it's fun because when there's no new inflation of any of the individual cards, it's fun to watch what happens as scarcity does its magic. We're also selling land. So in the game right now, there's items and summoners, and you use summoners to summon monsters. I'm sorry, there's monsters and summoners. The summoners bring up the monsters, they fight, and whenever the last monster is destroyed, whoever is remaining wins. And that whole system is sort of like a blind combat, but we want to make it so that the two sides get one round that's blind and then one round where they see it, and you're making strategic decisions after you know what your opponent picked. And to do that, we're going to introduce items and spells in it. So you'll have your monsters and your summoner out, and then you'll get around to go place down items and spells after you viewed what you and your opponent did. And when we were trying to figure out, well, how will the players get them? Instead of just, making packs and selling them, we said, no, we want the players to make this stuff. So we're going to create this whole land scheme. And in the land scheme, they can run around and purchase land. The land, you will be able to produce different assets or build buildings. There'll be a whole consumption process and a crafting process, and you'll make cards. You'll actually mint new cards for the game. So all of the items and spells will not, there'll be like some starter set, whatever's in the very, very basic level. But after that, it's all going to be up to the players to figure out how they make the cards, how the different rules of the crafting work, and how they're going to value this stuff. So typically people come in and they get a summoner spell book, which just lets them start earning, and then they get some packs. So when you own some packs, I've recently opened all of my packs. Let's go buy a pack here real quick. So I'm going to go. We're going to buy a pack. Let's go get. I'll just buy the one pack for right this second. So I go through, I purchase a pack, it pings the blockchain, and then after a couple seconds here, it'll tell me, okay, now I have a pack. So here it's showing me one pack. I drag that thing into the pack opener, and in every single one of these, there's going to be 5 cards. And right now what it's doing, we run this 6-second animation because it takes 6 seconds, or basically 2 blocks, to figure out what cards were part of it. So I got a summoner in here, and he's probably worth 60 or 70 cents. Living Lava is a bit. This isn't a great pack, but there's gold foil cards, there's legendary cards, there's all these different types, and I can figure out what's supposed to be part of this. What's a transaction ID, the block number, block ID, previous block ID, all that information can be used to generate the packs so that players can verify based off of the data that they input into it and what was generated when they opened the pack, what card should actually be in there. So they get all these cards, and now they come over to the market. So in the market, we've had $8,350 worth of sales today. That's 6,635 individual card sales, and that's all player to player. I mean, the players are coming in and they're buying and selling and flipping cards. And this is the current edition. It's the Untamed edition. And these are the regular foil cards. Now, we also have gold foil cards. So you can find a $500 card in a $2 pack. So there's usually some level of excitement for when you're opening up your packs to see what kinds of cards did you get in there. And then when the cards are sold out, you know, you can start seeing that there's higher values when there's no more ability to access those cards. You know, like if a card is really expensive, you say, well, do I want to spend $1,000 or do I want to go open a bunch of packs and try to find it? Well, if there's no packs for you to buy and open, then this starts looking like the better deal. And so you can see that a lot of the prices have been going, they've been doing well. These cards have been doing well. So with our cards, you have the ability to go combine them and trade them, rent them. But the combine mechanic is really one of the things that helps us you know, drive value to the cards. So here's one of the cards I like to showcase. So this is the Exploding Dwarf. So with this Exploding Dwarf, as you combine more cards, and to get to max level, you actually have to combine 505 of them. So by the time that you combine 505 of these cards, your melee attack goes up, your speed goes up, armor and health stay the same, but now you've gotten all these brand new abilities. And so your card performs better. And that's great because our game is built around the higher rank you are, the more you earn. It's roughly when you double your rank, you quadruple your earnings. So the game is a combination of proof of stake, meaning you have to have some nice cards. It's proof of skill, meaning you have to know what the hell you're doing. And it's proof of time, you actually have to work at it to play enough games to rank up. And through those three different combinations, you know, you get high quality cards, you learn how the game works, and you battle and you fight a bunch, and you can really start earning serious bucks. The different ways that you earn, there's a daily quest. So if you finish your daily quest, there's some loot chests that you get for that. There's league play. And so at the end of every single league, you're able to go get certain loot chests for that. At the end, if you make it all the way to the top, you get 150 loot chests. And keep in mind, there's cards in there that sell for hundreds of dollars. So each one of these is basically your chance to go do quite well with the market. And then there's also every time you fight, you're actually getting some amount of cryptocurrency as well. And every single match that we play here is different. We're up to right around 60 million matches having been played. There's about 120,000 played per day. And every single rule set is different. This is Stampede, and this is Taking Sides, and it's 22 mana cap, and only the red and blue splinters are available. But this match, it's Super Sneak. The mana cap is 12, and all 6 splinters are available. And this one, it's back to the basics, Melee Mayhem, a different mana cap, and only 4 of the splinters are available. So every single match is going to be different from the previous ones. So here, let's go look at the with only 12 mana, this should be a relatively short match to kind of look through. But these are the 2 teams that are the 2 summoners that were picked. These are the cards that came out. And let's go, we're going to start a rumble. So what the first thing that happens is that the summoners will go apply buffs. And then if the monsters apply buffs, the monsters get to apply buffs. And then the characters start fighting. So how does this work? It looks like I'm about to go get, oh no, it's Melee Mayhem. So monsters can attack from anywhere. So what's happening here? So we're seeing a whole bunch of, we're seeing fighting. We're seeing the characters go back and forth. It looks like I'm about to lose. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to heal out of this. So we're going to skip forward. I'm going to lose this match. And oh no, that was me. Tender Shepherd wins. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. So when I win, this might have been part of like a tournament play because there wasn't any. Oh, this was part of a brawl. So let me go back a bit. So there's a couple ways that you can fight. You can fight just individually. And when you're fighting individually, like here, you can see that there's 65 DEC rewarded. So just for playing a match, just for winning a match, you earn cryptocurrency as you're going. So you play 10 matches a day and you get 650 dark energy crystals. And then that's, you know, you can win up to, or fight up to 25 matches without getting penalties to how much you earn. So every single day, if you're coming in and battling, then, you know, your cards are helping you get an earning. So the next thing that happens is that you can participate in tournaments. And to date, we've given out $250,000 worth of prizes through our tournaments to the players. And the tournaments come in these different scales and scopes. So here, these are diamond level cards, and all cards are playable, but you have to use the alpha edition. Whereas here, this is diamond level cards, and actually only gold foil cards can be used. And then something like, let's find a low one. So here's bronze level, no legendary cards, and it's only the current edition. And so the prizes fluctuate, but there's basically like $2,700 worth of prizes every single week that the players can earn to go supplement, owning the assets, fighting and getting prizes. And then there's a third format. So you have your individual battles, you have the tournaments, but then there's also guild brawls. And within a guild brawl, you can, you're teamed up. There's a couple different guilds all in the same battle, and you're all fighting, and you're earning another type of currency called crowns. We're soon going to be, and that's for like the whole guild. We're going to be dropping a currency for individuals. And so there's just lots of these different ways that when you fight, you can earn, and they can earn in different ways, and then you can come participate. And because there's so much earning, there's actually a really healthy rental market too. So players will rent and trade cards and do all that. So that's kind of an overview of our game. Hopefully I didn't take too long, but that gives you a sense of you buy packs, you open cards, you get the cards, you can buy the cards individually, sell them, play with them to earn, and you can rent them out to other players so that they can earn. We're introducing land. There's some big announcements that are coming out at the end of the month because of our 3rd year anniversary, and some really exciting developments there. We recently got our first venture capital investment. We got a second company to go invest as well. We've been doing all this like angel investor stuff along the way, but now we're starting to get into larger investments, and the company's doing rather well. We're selling packs. Like I said, we're likely to sell out of these 261,000 packs by we're in May. So maybe by the end of June, or almost certainly by the end of July, probably by the end of June, we'll be out of all 261,000 of these packs, and players will have to wait a little bit, but they'll be looking forward to the next set of packs, which are the Chaos Legion. So that should give you some sense of what it is that we're doing, how the players are interacting with us, the scope of the project, the land, and how the land feeds into making your own NFTs within the game. And we're just growing. We're a profitable business. Life is pretty good, and because Hive has these fast block times, because Hive has human readable account names, and you're fighting aggroed rather than E16B94. It's just more fun and more personal. And then because it's freemium, we're adding something like 300 players a day. Many of them don't have any knowledge or background with cryptocurrency at all. And they don't need it because you don't need like MetaMask and transfer from Coinbase to start. All you need is a username and a password, and you can get going. So there's a lot to be said for using Hive, for the community that helps blog about our game and helps us grow. And all of that collectively has made us, one of the more successful projects out there in blockchain. You guys kicked me off. Are we still here?
Can still hear you. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we got a few questions on the chat.
Yeah, hit me.
Yeah, so Andrew, do you want to read the questions, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, sorry, I was getting a link for someone who asked. But yeah, the questions pretty. How big is the Splinterlands team? Seems like you guys are getting pretty popular. And how does the land affect gameplay? Are 2 questions we have, it seems.
So the team is, there's like 8 of us, 9 of us. We're adding devs and we're adding artists to the team now. We have a bunch of third-party contractors too. So, all told, there's probably like 30 to 40 people that help with our company. But full-timers, it's only like 8 or 9. We're adding people. And then for, what was the second question? It was, how does it land? So in the game, you have summoners and monsters, but we're going to add items and spells. But we are not going to sell packs that have items and spells in it. the players are going to have to mint the items and spells. So, you know, all those cards. Let me give an example of this. So recently our game has sort of been going pretty freaking bonkers. So here, this is from today. I can show this one. So open link. So here's the Splinterlands market cap, right? So this is what is the value of all the cards on the secondary market. And you can see the all-time high is at 14.888. I'm going to round this out to 15 million. So in the past, I don't know, what is this? 2 years. In the past 2 years, the value of the assets in the game has gone up maybe 12-fold or something, 12 to 14. And a lot of that has come recently. Some of that's with the bull market, but others is just as our game gets more popular, more people come in, more people are spending money. But the cards are worth, the players value them, not us, but the players on an open market value these cards at $15 million. So the cards have a lot of value. And instead of us just selling more cards of a different type, we said, you know what? That's not crypto enough. We want our players to be able to go capture that value, not us. So we'll keep capturing it for the item or for the monsters and summoners, but for this other class, the items and spells, we're not going to sell them. The players are going to make them, and they have the option to sell them. And so the players, I think, will be able to capture some of that value, that $15 million that we've helped create in this game, and that the players in the community have created in the game. Now the players are going to be able to mint their own cards, but not all players, only the landowners. And so I think it's not like an advantage in the game, because, like, you know, you could just rent the land, or you could rent the cards, or rent the items and spells that are created. So you're not at a disadvantage there. But if you really want to participate in like that layer of the economy, and you want to participate in basically an entirely separate game, which is like land management and a land expansion game, then you have to own land. And we are, you know, like with our cards, we say, well, it's really important that players are always able to enter the game with nothing more than like $2 to $20, you know, like something really small to get you started. And new cards should always be available, because that's the core of our game. But we don't feel that way about land. Land is like this optional thing where if you want to participate in it, you can, and it's okay if it's really limited to just a handful of people, because you don't need land to fight. You need the cards, but there's other ways to get the cards that don't need the land. So we don't feel that bad about it. So the land is really about players that want to mint NFTs in our ecosystem. And like these kind of empire building games, then you're going to want to participate, because somewhere out of that next set of millions and millions of dollars, it's going to be going to the landowners rather than to Splinterlands directly, which is what we want, because we want the players to feel like that, like, our whole business strategy is that if the people in our ecosystem can benefit, make some money, and do well while having fun, this place will grow. So we want the players to be successful. You know, like normally the like free-to-play games are asking, how do I get as much money out of the players as possible? And when Matt and I sit down and figure out how we design Splinterlands, we think, how do we add as much value to the players and their assets as possible? Hopefully that helps.
Very cool. One more question, then we got to move on. This one's a nice technical question from, I think that's a guys from the Zaya team. And he asks, is there an API or RPC to query the game, get information, and then process that, e.g. such as for creating top player lists?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of APIs. Yabamat is a better person to be asking, because you can just ask him the dev related questions, and he can point you to the servers that are out there. But yeah, there's tons of this that are just simple API calls, and you know, like there's third-party websites and people are building all this stuff. There's like 4 different dexes that have been built for our cards now. And all of that we just think is great for the game. So we make as much of this available as we think it makes sense, or as people are sort of asking us for stuff. We really try to work with the community to help them get whatever tools or info that they need. And so far, so good.
All right, so now we got to move on to our next game. Rising Star.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah, we can see and hear you now. And please share your screen if you want to show off some gameplay.
Okay.
So tell us about Rising Star. Are you from the music industry? How did this get started?
Okay. Yeah, a little bit of a background. So I was kind of retired from working in IT for a number of years and running my own company. And one of my hobbies was music. But then blockchain came along and got me really excited about coding again. So I thought, well, how can I merge my passions for music and coding and learn something new? And so I started to develop a game that would basically take those things and put them together. So this is really more of a hobby than a company as such. And then when COVID happened and the lockdown happened, it was like, okay, my wife and I are going to go full time into this to basically keep us distracted and give us something to do. And it's a bit of a passion project. So the idea is that it merges music. So for example, in the game, you'll see at the bottom, there's actually a radio built in, and that contains music from mainly Hive musicians.
Can you play it? I want to hear.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't hear.
Can you not hear it? It's
No.
probably, hang on a second. Let me,
It could be the way our meeting is set up. I don't know.
You have to
Maybe
turn
it's-
up the volume on your computer.
yeah, it's probably, I've got it as multi-output, but I'm wearing headphones. So
Maybe that's
Never
why.
mind that, but they
No.
can easily go to your website and do it, right?
yeah, you can go and do that. So yeah, so anyway, so there's a radio built in that you can listen to while you're playing the game, and musicians can submit their music to be included on the radio. Okay, so so that's one way. And you can also, I'll go into it a little bit later, but you can also, as a musician, you can mint your own NFT in game with your music, and players can buy those off of you within the game. So it's a way of, one of the things that is really frustrating as an independent musician is getting people to listen to your music. So one of the things I did, I created a website purely for gamifying listening to music, and that was the thing I did before this. And I thought, well, that was okay, but the trouble is you just get other musicians really that are the only ones that are willing to listen to your music in return for you listening to theirs. But this way we can get gamers to listen to our music as well. And by having NFTs of the music in game, we can also encourage them to buy the music and hopefully enjoy it. But also it gives you an ability to help in the game. So I'll cover that a little bit more later on. That's kind of more recently what we've done. The game in its essence started out as an idle game. So you can see on the screen here, I've got illegal busking. So you start as a lowly busker, going out, trying to make some money illegally. And the idea is that it's a music career simulation, basically. So you can work your way up to a global megastar. So you start by just clicking start on a button, and it will run as an idle mission. So you can go away, do something else, and come back. On this one, it'll be a 5-minute duration. Now, one of the things that I really wanted to try and do is make this basically available to anyone to play for free. So you don't have to buy anything to start playing. And I was quite passionate about charity. And one of the things about blockchain is I saw the potential to use blockchain for direct charity. Okay, so I don't trust the big charity companies, like I'm sure a lot of you don't, because they don't really. Well, there's a lot of dodgy stuff going on when they're trying to give out the money, and a lot goes to places it shouldn't, etc. And I've always seen blockchain as a great way of doing direct charity. And I thought, well, let's try and make it a free-to-play game. We know we're going to get a lot of people trying to basically cheat and have multiple accounts and do all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to really try and do it. And we do that. My wife spends most of the day basically reviewing accounts to make sure they're not cheating and to authorize them into the game. But it was something that was close to my heart that I wanted to try and do. And we're succeeding in doing that. I get messages quite a lot from people in Venezuela and places like that saying that it's really helping them. They can come in and play the game for free, earn some star bits, which is our in-game currency. And the idea is that people basically from high income countries like ourselves can supplement the people that are coming in from low income countries, because we're quite happy to spend, you know, a few dollars in crypto on some card packs, and they may not be able to afford to do that, but they can still play the game, and we can still play the game, and everybody gets to play together without necessarily anyone having to invest. So that was pretty important, which we've managed to succeed in doing that. So basically very similar to Splinterlands in the way that you can go and buy cards and card packs, and you get random cards that come out. So I'm just going to go to the cards page here, and we have different types of cards that help your career as a musician. So you can work your way up and build a band, and you've got roadies and things like that. So we're looking at some of the people here. So here's one of the roadies, for example, Limey. He's a road crew guy, and you can see on the market, people are buying and selling these cards on the market. We've got different levels, as you'd expect, like your basic common card. And then you've got, for example, Trenton Lundy was our first legendary card. He's actually a Hive musician. So our legendary cards, we release one new legendary card a month. And we try to make these legendary cards actual people from within the Hive community, so Hive musicians. So yeah, there's another one, Raven, who you may have seen around on Steem and Hive. And that's basically the people cards. And then you got the instruments. Great thing about this, another little feature, you can actually make your own music in the game. So if you buy a pack, or you buy an individual card that's an instrument, you pair it up with a person in your band, and you can actually play the music, and it will merge all the different elements of your band. So if I play here the high-end drum kit, you won't be able to hear it again, but on this page you can basically preview all the different instruments. And then if I go back, and you have to be at a certain level that you've unlocked your band. And if I go in here, I'm clicking on my band members, and you can manage your band. And every time you make a change to either one of the people in your band or one of the instruments, you'll get a different soundtrack. You'll basically create different music, and you can save those and share those on Hive or whatever, and make music within the game. So that's one element. One of the other things you can do is you can craft your own cards as well. So this is a fairly new feature that we added. And what you do is you go to something called the custom shop, which is the button down here. And in the custom shop, you have to pay Starbits to be able to do these, but you basically go to a fair and you can choose whether you want to do drums, guitars, production instruments, etc. And by running these missions, you get different parts, depending on whether it's, drums, guitars, or whatever. And when you go to crafting, it will show you how many you've got of each of these parts. So for example, you got different guitar bodies, machine heads, pickups and strings. And depending on how many you've got, you can see that at the bottom here, there are 3 different cards that I can craft based on the parts that I found at those fairs. And if I click on one of those guitars, it'll say, do I want to craft this guitar? And I can confirm that. And it's now going to craft that guitar, and that will go onto the blockchain as an NFT, be sent to my account. And when I go back to the card page after it's confirmed, that will be in my inventory. So that is one feature. Another feature that we've got is, I'll just go to the records first. So another feature that we've got is, as I said before, musicians can mint their own records. If I click on the records tab here, you see a bunch of music. You can preview the tracks by clicking the play button. And if you've actually bought the NFT, then you can either download the MP3 or you can play it right here in the game. So for example, if I go into Trenton Lundy again, he's got this track called Weird. He's selling them on the market. So you can put them up for any price, and any currency within Steam, within Hive Engine. For example, Starbits is our currency, but you could sell it for Swap Hive or any other currency. When a sale gets made, if people are staking their Starbits against the record that gets sold, then they get a share of a pool. So the musician pays 120,000 star bits to get 25 NFTs of their record minted. And then every time a sale is made, anyone who's staked their star bits against that record will get a share of the pool. So for example, if I look at this Billy Korg, you can see all the sales that have taken place. Every time these sales have happened, someone has got a share of that pool. So it takes kind of the DeFi idea of staking and earning rewards, but it applies it to music. So we're trying to make it like a music simulator. So this is a little bit like someone investing in a new independent musician and getting a share of the profits as that goes forward. So we've kind of gamified that as well. And then the other thing we've got is, let me just go back to missions. We've got the music promoter. So this is another, again, we're trying to expand it to be more of, as well as just being a musician, you can actually go into different things like music production and promotion, etc. The idea on here is that on the live mission log on the top left, you'll see here, these are the missions that are actually taking place by people in the game right now, live. And you can bid. You basically put your star bits into a pool and you can make a bid to be the promoter for that mission. And this all happens in real time against other players. So if you bid on that, every time that mission gets completed by someone, you get an entry into the pool. And at the end of the day, you get a share paid out in another one of our currencies, which is Star Pro, which has a different tokenomics. So yeah, I won't go into too much more detail, but basically it's a music career simulator, contains music from the Hive community, and you buy packs. All of those cards are NFTs. You can trade them on the market, and you've also got other elements to do with the music industry.
I got one idea. So I think probably before, or I'm just guessing here, maybe before, the reason we couldn't hear the music is that because the sound is coming through your headphones, which you're wearing, and thus not being picked up along with your voice.
Well, I've got an audio capture device that's supposed to put it out on all channels, which is, it works for me on OBS when I'm doing my live shows, but I don't know why that's not working through Zoom. I must admit, I've never really tried.
What would happen if you unplugged your headphones and the sound came out through your speakers? Would that work?
You can try. I mean, it's not going to sound very good through my
okay.
speakers.
Never mind.
It's probably better for you. I mean, it's free to sign up, so anyone can just go and log in with Hive Keychain, and they can go and play the music on the radio if you want to listen to something.
There's actually a checkbox when you share your screen, right before you share a screen. So you have to unshare the screen, and then click on share the screen and say which screen do you want. You look at the bottom of that prompt, and there should be a checkbox that say share my music or share my volume as well.
On the advanced sharing options, is it?
Yeah. So press. So do you see the prompt that says select a window or an application, and then at the bottom you'll see like share.
Yeah, share computer sound. I got it.
Oh, is it going to work now?
It might do.
Let's hear it.
Let me just see. It's asking me to allow that. See if you can hear it.
Aha! Good job, guys.
Hey, thank you.
So this is music that's been, tell us what we're hearing.
Yeah, so you're hearing Satellites by somebody called Jump Feathers, who is a Hive musician. They've submitted one of their tracks to the radio.
That's neat.
And I can just basically skip to the next track if I don't like that one.
Dope.
So Raven is another legendary card in the game. She's also a Hive musician, and this is one of her tracks.
Nice beat. So, we're still down a couple panelists. Did you say you've played Brewmaster before?
I've played it a little bit, yeah.
Would you be willing to show a little bit on our friend's behalf?
I can't sign into it because it's giving me an error here saying that they're basically saying that there's something wrong with the site. So if someone else wants to sign in, I can tell you the basics.
Oh, let me see if I can do it. All right, I'm gonna make an attempt. And you're right here to walk me through it, right?
Yep.
All right, let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna try and share my screen again. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
let's see what happens. Play now. Now, yeah, so I'm gonna use Keychain. Keychain's like their version of MetaMask, kinda. You know, it's a browser extension. Super easy. So most of these games on Hive, oh crud.
Yeah, you're going to need your keychain password.
Don't look, guys. Okay. So yeah, so I'm signing in, and you know your account is tied to your public-private key pair, your identity on Hive on the chain. So I'm signing in by actually signing a transaction, or you know. So let's see. You know, usually, so this is what I see upon first entrance, or maybe I've tried playing before briefly. I don't think so. This is what I'm seeing. So
Yeah.
what do you
If you just close, I mean, I can tell you the basics from what I know.
what do you suggest I check out first?
Close that window down with the X to start with.
The daily info thing?
Yeah, it's just that's just an info pop up.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we are.
There we go. So yeah, if you just click on the top left building, which is the brewery.
Ah,
So that's the brew house that shows you different recipes for the different beers.
ooh, I like pilsners. Okay.
And then close that one down. I just got to try and remember where you start now.
Huh.
Because
I
it's
have, what is
moved
this,
around a bit.
energy? Games like this often give me stamina, so I guess I can only make what, so many actions per day or something?
To be honest, I don't know all of that. I just, as I know, the basics are that you go into the brewery and you can basically take certain ingredients
Huh. Let's try
to
this.
build a beer. So this is, I think this is just telling you about it. So yeah,
Upgrade
the screen's changed a bit, but yeah, I think
since you
close
last
that.
played.
Yeah, close that one down because I think that's more of an advanced thing. Just try clicking on some of the other buildings. Yeah, that one's the one. So in here, if you click on the bulletin board, was it there?
Good wheat malt.
Right. So yeah, this is what I remember. So if you click on, you've got daily tasks.
And it's all revolved around brewing and selling beer, basically.
Yeah. So what you do is you basically have to buy some of the hops and the yeast and everything like that to be able to
Oh, I see.
to be able to brew it. But you can also carry out missions which earn you all of the ingredients that you need, and then you can combine them and brew a beer, and then you can trade the beer on the Hive blockchain.
I see. So wait, currently I have no CBM. Like this is the in-game token or something?
Yeah, that's what you'll earn. But you should be able to do a mission on.
So if I do a mission, then I may acquire these tokens and or ingredients with which
Yeah,
to.
you get the ingredients. So
I see. Well, how do I do a mission then?
where you clicked at the middle one. Yeah, this is where it was, and then bulletin board. This is how I used to do it, and then click on that wheat malt. Right, it's not letting you start.
Grayed out.
Okay, so you do need some CBM to be able to do it.
I see. So I need to get CBM somehow to do this.
Yeah.
Huh.
As I say, it's changed quite a lot. I think I probably either it was free to play when they were first testing it, so I had enough CBM to carry on, or I bought some. I honestly can't remember. It's such a long time ago.
Let me think. Wonder if I should. Is there Discord active?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've been in there before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go
There's a
beg
link
for
at the bottom
CBM.
left, is there?
Huh?
There are some links, but one of them's hidden. I can see on the bottom left there. If you close that current window down, you might be able to get a link to Discord.
Uh-huh. Hold on.
There's also Telegram you can ask.
But you know, usually games like this would at least provide me some means of starting. Like Surely it can't.
Oreo, right?
I wonder if it's necessary for me to go and buy
Click on the
CPM
till.
tokens
You
on the
might be able to
market.
buy something there.
Go to where?
On the till, in the pub where you were.
Hmm.
Click on the till. What is that?
Whoa.
So they're the beers that you can buy and sell, but not the CBM token.
My beer stock.
So why would people buy the beer? Right? Do they get like more stamina?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you drink a beer, effectively, it gives you. I say the real basics is all I know of the game because I haven't played it for so long.
Kind of like smoking a joint in Hash
Yeah.
Kings.
Yeah.
What is up with you guys on Hive? You're all getting drunk and high over there on your chain. Are you like drinking away your dramas? What's going on here? Wait, this.
You got the shop down there on the right. I don't know whether you
What's
can.
this?
I can't remember where you
Claim.
buy.
Oh, claim. I
Oh, that was
figured
your.
something
You
out.
referred somebody. It looked like.
Oops.
You've done a referral, so now you've got a card you can open. Yeah.
Okay. And that was a process on the blockchain. So this must be some kind of token.
Yeah. So you've now got some ingredient. You got an ingredient that you can use.
I want more. How do I get more?
Try
Oh,
the
I
shop
see.
on the right. Because that's just about referrals that you were looking at. You see on the right there, you've got shop.
Where?
Down a bit.
Here?
Right a bit. Right a bit.
Oh,
Shop.
here. Whoa. Huh.
Okay, so
HBD.
yeah, that's Hive back dollars. I don't know where you get CBM from other than going to Hive Engine and buying it on the market. I can't see where the link is to buy it.
I'm going to click around for just 1 more minute. See what I find. Pinball. Now, what
Oh,
is
that's
this? Will it give me tokens if I win? I wonder.
no idea. This is new.
What? What is it going to do?
I think it's just a fun little game that you can play while you're waiting.
Oh, you think? It'd be
Possibly,
nice
because
if it.
I was discussing it with Rowley, one of the developers of it, when we put mini games into Rising Star as well. So I think it's
Let's
just
see.
for fun.
Yeah, I think it's just a little game. What else can I do?
I mean, logically, if you go up to the CBM, green CBM above, I don't know if you can click on that to buy CBM. Yeah, there you go. Oh, deposit.
Well, I don't know if I have Hive in my wallet right now, though.
You can't buy it from there anyway. I think you have to go to Hive Engine to buy CBM, and then you can deposit it. Yeah, sorry, I'm not really up to date with it all. It's changed quite a lot.
Do you know anything about that game, Holy Bread?
I played that similarly last year for the last time. It's basically a battling game.
Let's check it out. This guy's also absent. I'm going to
Right.
briefly visit his game.
Yeah, this was one that actually inspired some of what I've done with Rising Star, because I played all these games first and then kind of thought, well, how can I take elements of each one that I like and apply it to music? So
you guys see what I'm doing here? They look so goofy.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna
quite
be the tall
interesting
one.
artwork in this game.
So wait, you said you liked this game, or it gave you ideas?
Yeah, it just gave me ideas just playing it.
Interesting. How's it similar then? Just
Well, it's not really the look and feel of it or the way that it works. I played. There's a certain element of our game that's hidden now because I can't quite get it to work the way I want it to, where you do something very similar to this game, but you battle between another player. But ours is more like a rap battle or a guitar battle or a drum battle, where it depends on the stats on your cards, how well you do. Okay, so this kind of made me think about that, but it's not currently live in our game because I can't get it to work well enough.
Yeah. Well, so far I haven't been having, in terms of fees and latency, so far I've been kind of happy with, although this isn't loading right now for some reason. I'm going to take that as some kind of error with the browser or the client and not with the Hive blockchain itself. And it seems like At least today, in the course of clicking around, I'm yet to pay any Hive in transaction fees.
Yeah, I mean, I know one of the things you wanted to talk about is why we develop on Hive. And for me, not only was there a lot of devs around that I could ask questions. I mean, I never would have been able to do this on my own. I have never programmed blockchain. I'm old school. I started out with COBOL on a mainframe in the 80s. So the idea of blockchain was completely alien. And there are so many helpful people around on Hive that you can either pay people to do things for you, which I did for a certain level of it, or people would just give you information that you need to be able to work it out yourself. So that's one of the reasons that I programmed the game on Hive. And the other reason is it's free. So you can mint NFTs. It's a very, very small charge to mint NFTs on the side chain to Hive. So all of these tokens that we have in these games are on a side chain called Hive Engine. Okay. So they don't get minted directly in Hive. All of these tokens are on this side chain. And you can create a token for a very small amount of money, and you can create any kind of dApp you want on Hive. And as you're interacting, as you say, with the blockchain, the cost is almost nothing. If you've got some Hive powered up, you will never notice that it's costing you anything at all, because it's just costing you resource credits.
Oh, wait. Jacob says, with Holy Bread, I had to refresh the page and it worked after selecting my class. Really? Okay, I'm going to try that. Thank you, sir, Jacob.
Yeah, there you go.
I think he's right.
Right.
Good
So
call,
I mean, this is if you click on quests.
No more breadcrumbs. That's cute. Oh, I wanted breadcrumbs. Do not fret. Converted into bread. All right, so I can turn crumbs into bread.
They used to have something called breadcrumbs, but they've got rid of that.
Heroes.
So yeah, so you've got your hero here.
Isn't he handsome?
And you can find different elements by doing quests. So if you click on quests,
ask
and
for
then
new quest.
ask for a new quest, and it gives you a choice of it's just one here, and then just click start. So this is what gave me the idea for Rising Star to be an idle game, was just watching this, and that you click start and then you wait, and at the end of it you basically get a random amount of I can't remember what it is now, bread? And you might I think you can win like weapons and clothing, or you can certainly trade bread for them on the market.
All right.
And you can,
so I started with 5 bread. I see some similarity to other idle games in that if I'm impatient and don't want to wait for the duration of the idle game's waiting time, I can pay 1 bread.
Yeah.
Which I assume is going to lead to some utility token concepts and some sort of economy of token value.
Yeah, I mean, if you start skipping, then you're going to basically spend more than you've made. So if you're looking at it as from a purely income point of view, you wouldn't want to do that on this type of game. But if you're
right,
impatient,
from a revenue model, from a blockchain game developer's perspective, they often rely on some kid with his mom's credit card who doesn't want to wait. So he pays some fee and he buys some bread and he skips over and over again just so he can get XP, because this kid just wants X. That's what happens, right? Yeah, it's kind of funny. I think I did that once when I was younger, or not too much, like not like $1,000, but like $10. But yeah, it's interesting. We had some question. Let me check. How do you guys feel about competing chains like Wax and Binance Smart Chain entering blockchain gaming? Me personally, we also have Wax in the blockchain gaming investment fund. They're different, man. Wax I'm using a lot more for artwork. I think there are games on Wax, but the community right now seems very focused on NFT artwork and reselling on OpenSea, and a concept of not necessarily utility NFTs to be used in game all the time. You know, like people like William Shatner and what was the other one? Cabbage dolls. You know, just people tokenizing brands and stuff. I don't know. Binance Smart Chain, man, really? Is that a block? Yeah, I have seen a couple games building on Binance Smart Chain, but like, I don't know. I haven't viewed it as a. It's not something I'd invest. I don't know. It's hard to. It's hard for me to trust it for some odd reason. I have no good reason why. I just feel distrustful of that. I don't know. Maybe someone else has comments.
Yeah, well, we've made our packs available on Wax now, so you can buy packs with wax packs,
Nice.
and it will automatically give you a pack to open within the game on Hive. So for us, we just see it as another way to get more people into the game, and a lot of people are joining Hive because they're seeing our packs on Wax, and they would never have even heard about the game, or probably not even have heard about Hive necessarily. So I think there's a lot of cross chain stuff that we could do. We should all be in it together rather than saying we're competing against each other, because different chains have different attributes that make them better for some things and not so good for others. Like, for example, Hive being, you know, totally free effectively to use, and then Binance Smart Chain, you've got to pay a fee every time you interact. So it's a little bit, we wouldn't be able to run our game on Binance Smart Chain, for example, all the time.
This brings me to two final questions. And I guess we're going to start wrapping up. Kind of technical, like you were bringing up Hive and how effectively is Hive bridged to other blockchains? Is there an actual trustless process yet between Wax and Hive, or between Hive and Ethereum or another blockchain?
I know Leo Finance are doing something with Cub where you can do cross-chain swaps. They're going to do it with Hive across to Binance Smart Chain and to Ethereum, I believe. At the moment, they've released it so you can swap between Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain through their bridge. So it's happening, but that's the only one that I'm aware of that does the cross-chain from basically from Hive to somewhere else.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of cross-chain bridges and interactions myself. So personally, I'd be happy to see more interoperability between Hive and other chains.
Yeah, I agree.
Does the side chain attempt to facilitate that?
No, I mean the side chain, in terms of Hive Engine, that's really there for people to create their own tokens, and it has smart contracts as well. So it just adds functionality to Hive to be used for, so you can create dapps basically and have your own token for use within that dapp. There isn't, you know, there is. I mean, for example, in Splinterlands, you can pull in your tokens from different chains into the game, so you can buy DEC on different chains, and you can bring it into the game and use it within the game, and then you can export your deck to any of those chains. So they have an element of it doing it that way, but it's not a trustless swap.
Well, I hope they move towards that at some point. I also heard when I was talking to one of the other panelists that some people are less favorable to the side chain than others. I forget who it was. I think maybe the Holy Bread guy. Maybe he mentioned that he's doing things directly on chain and not with the side chain. And I sensed there might be some disagreement there, but I wanted to keep this conversation, you know, like everyone on the same side. But I'm curious, like, do you know what I'm talking about here?
I have no idea. Honestly, have no idea on that one. No, I try and keep out of the politics. I mean, the whole Justin Sun thing when we had the fork was like, yeah, it was pretty heated, and there were a lot of people getting very irate, and it was getting quite nasty. I try to keep out of that. I mean, I literally created this game for fun as a hobby. I'm the only developer on the game. We're not looking to build a big team or a company. We're just looking to have fun and let everybody else have fun. Keep out of the politics.
I see. I was just curious. I mean, a lot of chains like Ethereum has competing side chains, competing visions for achieving scalability. And that tends to happen. But right now it seems like it's ideal for the Hive community to be very cooperative. And I think by and large they can realize that because they have this common enemy, like a boogeyman that they can paint in their minds, in Justin Sun. And
Yeah, that's true.
it's generally the case that that unites people, I think. And from my point of view, as a manager of a fund doing blockchain gaming tokens, that's what's good to me, as long as, we all realize that Hive's greatest asset right now, its greatest competitive asset is its community, is how, like you said, they'll help each other with advice. Like Dan, when I first set up, he sent me some Hive. He made sure I didn't have to pay any fees. And I think if we continue this way, we're bound to see rising values and market caps. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because I know one of the reasons that I always felt that Steem was quite high is because it's nothing to do with the chain and nothing to do with the Steemit.com at the time. It's because the Chinese government had it in their top 10 blockchains. So it got it got a lot of publicity. And I think people probably still see it as basically just an investment. It's an investment. It's speculation. It has nothing to do with what's built on it. And Hive has never had any of that. So Hive is kind of, it almost just looks like someone's created a side chain, or sorry, not side chain, but they've forked Steem and they've created something. And I wonder how many people who have Steem in their wallets actually know anything about it.
I don't know, man. I think, yeah, I think it's definitely strange, but one thing you should also consider, and any investors who see this on YouTube later should consider, is that when a coin's building its value based on hype and market access and external factors, as opposed to underlying users and market usage supporting it on a fundamental level, that makes Steem more susceptible to a crash in the event of Elon Musk-like episodes. Coins that don't have fundamental backing, like a community of users, I feel are more likely to fall, like a Doge or whatever Reddit promotes these days, in the event of some kind of bull run ending situation. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah, totally. And you do see, if you look at the Steem price, you'll see regular pumps and dumps on it. So it's definitely, there are coordinated things that go on. And that happened even before Hive. I remember, I've been in probably about 4 years that I've been involved with Steem and now Hive. And it happened throughout that you'd just get these insane pumps and then it would come straight back down again. And there's no way that happens naturally.
No, but we just got to keep spreading the word. So after we publish this on YouTube, I'm going to get all your games on our wiki page, and then I don't know what the next steps will be after that. We'll see. Let me check for any more questions or comments from the chat room. No, I think we're good. All right. Oh, here's a question about land sales. All right, shoot. What is it? Dun, dun, dun. Typing his question. Do you think some games are just putting out lands for the sake of milking people? Yes, I do think that. Short answer, because land is a buzzword at some point. Once Decentraland did it, and then once other people started adding it to their games, and CryptoKitties added it to their game, and then it's an Axie Infinity. Now everyone's doing it. But our fund does own some land in some games. I think you should. So here's what I'm skeptical of. I'm skeptical of a game that first was built without land and then later tacks on the land concept additionally because they've heard it was popular. A lot of the games where I've bought, we've owned some land, but it was more organically done from the beginning of the game's inception. See if our panelist has some thought on that.
I think it's a little bit like NFTs, isn't it? If you're creating an NFT because you are a legitimate and well-known artist and you're creating something of value, then that's fine. But if you're just coming along, as I quite often see on Wax, and taking a screen print of the Mona Lisa and putting it up as an NFT, then you're just trying to milk people for nothing.
Yeah, but that's not Hive, you guys. No, don't be fighting us with your questions. Hive is great. And with that, let's see. I'm gonna check out what happened on my holy bread thing. Skip. No, I'm not gonna skip. I don't want to use my bread. Yeah, I'm gonna save it. All right, well, I guess that's it. I'll see you later, guys. I'm gonna stop the recording.
Thank you
How
very
do I do
much.
that?